And welcome to this week's episode of We Don't Know Either podcast. I'm joined by this dummy, Kelly. Hi.
Hi, jackass.
Hi. I trust you had a good week. You're cranky today because it's your cranky time of the month. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, go.
I actually haven't gotten it yet.
Oh, great. So it's the build up to it. Even better.
It's at the point where you feel it in your uterus.
Don't do it.
And
Don't fucking do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't
and
you
then
dare.
you just sneeze and it oozes out.
Why? Just why?
Because that's
Why?
how the body works.
Why do you hate me so that you have to go there? I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't. What? I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna throw up. You make me want to vomit sometimes. You really do. So, anyway,
You told me not to go there, so I went there because
I know
love you that much.
I know. By the way, hopefully next month I will be buying one of those microphones. I put it in my Amazon. Listen, I would put it in my Amazon store and say, "Hey, could a friend help me out?" But no, she's too busy buying fucking $15,000 iPhones, like 7 of them, for no apparent reason. I don't understand. You have a 14. There's no difference.
I don't.
What do you
I
have?
have a 13. I have a 13 Pro Max.
And you know which one they say is the best one so far? 13 Pro Max. I just spit all over my microphone.
Well,
they say the 13 Pro Max so far is the best one.
But I'm also
Dumb.
transferring to a different carrier.
You're transgendering? Yay!
No, I'm changing carriers. And I didn't spend $1,500. I just had to pay the tax. I'm getting the phones for free.
No, you're not getting the phones for free. You're getting the phones for a price every month.
No.
How they get you. Yes.
No, I'm not.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I'm trading in my all the phones I have now and getting an entire credit on the price of the phone. So I'm not paying anything during the month.
When it comes in, I want to see your bill the phone 2 months later. In 2 months after you get the phone, I want to see your bill and see if it's changed.
Well, I got to send in the trade-in and do a whole bunch of shit. Trust me, I know how to scam phone companies. I've been doing it for decades.
Scamming people money. It's scamming people for money for years.
Like in Mitch's unit, they would like.
Oh, whoa! Don't talk about Mitch's unit. Mitch's unit is very delicate and private.
In the army, jackass. The guys would come over to get me to yell at the phone companies to get them free phones.
Well, then you got to get me free phones. Then what the fuck? I need a free phone.
You have to come up here though, because you have to say, "Hold on, let me put my wife on." You have permission to talk to her.
You just want me to say next to you, "Let me put my wife on." That's all you want me to say.
You know, I dream every day about being married to your ass.
Nobody dreams that.
No,
so far, 0 for 2, baby.
And anyone that did ran for the hills.
Listen, they didn't run, okay? One ran.
No, they just left in the middle of the night.
Listen, one did, and the other one, God bless your soul. Just put it that way. I feel terrible. Divorce isn't something that like you want to do, but I also think
about it week after week with your co-host.
Huh?
What?
Listen, I was in a bad place and you helped me out, you fuck. Thank you for that. Second of all, listen, it at the time I was going through some shit and you talked to me through it and now I'm a better person for it. Now I know what I want to look for and what I deserve, I feel. Okay. And what my
girl.
Huh? Don't even fucking go. Don't even. Anyway, like I was saying, I deserve kids. You fuck. I do. I don't care. I'll be 75 and a dad.
Or not having any more kids.
Listen, don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't you dare put that evil on me. Speaking of, I'm wearing a NASCAR shirt. This is one of the comfiest shirts I've ever owned. And I bought it at a secondhand thrift store.
I have my favorite hoodie is my Sean Ryan hoodie. I don't even listen to his show. I just have an obsession with hoodies because I'm a woman. And it is like the best hoodie.
You're Sean Ryan. You have a Sean Ryan hoodie?
Mhm.
Well, I ought to get one. If it's that comfortable, I should get one.
I wear it in most of our episodes. Even though I don't like them, and I kind of sent him a nasty email.
Why did you send him a nasty email?
We're not going to talk about it. His interview with Jim Caviezel.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's all you had to say. You didn't have to fucking say we're not going to talk about it like a fucking monster. All you had to say was his interview with is your mouth hurt because you talked too much? You got punched in it, didn't you?
No.
You're not wearing your dentures. That's the problem.
I wore them last night, and now my gums are swollen because they weren't fitting. I got to get them readjusted.
Again? Just because you don't wear, just because you don't wear them, you're supposed to wear them.
Like wearing them,
but you're supposed to. Then why don't you get ones that fit properly and feel fine instead of fucking Grouponing it and
I'm
getting.
I'm not Grouponing it. I'm using the same dentist, and he puts like a lining in it that kind of suctions it, so I don't need glue. And the lining just is getting kind of crappy. You have to get it changed every month. It's been like 3 months.
Every month?
They're temporary because like my gums are still trying to change. Like it takes about a year to a year and a half until you get your the dentures you wear permanently for life.
Really? Why don't you get that thing where they like saw it into your bone?
Because it's like $30,000 and I don't have 30 grand.
Listen, if you stop buying iPhones, you wouldn't have a problem. What are you getting? Which ones are you getting? Are you getting
the 15 Pro Max?
Nope.
What? The phones? Is that what you're talking about?
The memory. I know which phone you're getting. You told us. Huh?
I'm just getting 256.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I figured.
I got 256 on my iPad, 128 on my iPhone, on my 13, and I'm not even close.
Yeah, I got 256. I'm almost maxed out of my.
I'm not even close to halfway.
Well, I gotta delete a bunch. Well, I mean, I definitely have to delete a bunch of shit off my phone. I mean, now I've just been too fucking lazy to do it. It's like, oh yeah, that block of pictures gone. I'm like, what? Next person, I'm not taking all these pictures with. I'm not taking all these pictures. I'm not screenshotting shit. This is no.
God.
What?
I had like 4,000 screenshots. I'm like, delete all. I don't need them. Why do I don't know why I take screenshots because I don't fucking need them. And most of the time, if it's something important, like when I send you screenshots, I just copy and delete it and then paste it. I don't know why I have screenshots.
Yeah, I screenshot things so I can remember for later on, and then I forget, and then 2 months later I go, oh yeah, that's right, I did. Hey guys, remember this? Mm-hmm. Like, telling a joke that's 20 minutes too late. Yeah, your mom, the whore. Like, what do you, dude? We're talking about Taco Bell now. Can we just we're not doing that anymore? I'm so funny. Anyway.
You're not.
So I know. Just Robin Williams myself. Anyway, so
I miss him.
I miss him too. But
he's the only, I think, celebrity that passed away that has like deeply affected my life.
I have two. One was Robin. The other was Patrice O'Neal. I literally.
Who's that?
I want to strangle you.
I probably know who it is.
In all fairness, he wasn't that big. I mean, he was a big dude. But he wasn't mainstream as he should have been. And the reason why is because he always shot himself in the foot because he was always honest. Like when he made movies, he was like, they'd be like, "Hey, Patrice, we need you to do that." He was on The Office for the first season. He was with Keith, the other black dude that was in The Office. He was what he should have been. They were kind of like Patrice was supposed to be the guy.
Yeah.
And I've seen him a bunch of times. I saw him a bunch of times. He's great. He just told it like it was. Like he was so insightful with the way he spoke about things, and it was just so great. Like, he did a bit in his last comedy special called Elephant in the Room, where he was talking about the girl who was killed by the Swedish guy, the blonde-headed girl. What was her name? The blonde-headed girl. Jordan Vandersloot was the guy that killed her.
Oh, Natalie Holloway.
That's right. But like 2 months later,
he killed. What did you call her?
No, Johan Vandersloot was the guy who killed her.
Yeah, he was.
But Portuguese. 3 months later, he killed another girl, some Peruvian girl. What was her name?
I don't remember her name.
Exactly, and that was the bit he used to do. He said white women are just more valuable than anything else because
it's not just that it's white women. She wasn't a U.S. citizen, so we didn't hear much about her here. And Natalie Holloway's mother made a lot of noise. I was really attached to that case because I love Aruba. I've been there multiple times. Some not so friendly times, but it's a beautiful country.
We know.
How do you know?
We know where the islands are. And what we should have a map. You know how they have the poop map? We should just have the Kelly map of where Kelly was.
I don't even know half the places I've been. I just remember being on a plane and getting off of it, not even knowing where it was.
But yeah, so that was his bit, was like everybody knew Natalie Holloway's name, but nobody knew the Peruvian girl he killed 3 months after that. And just I
knew it at some point.
But and then he was talking about how these guys went missing on a ship, and they all went to the edge of the beach and were like, "Yeah, we're good. We don't see them." He was just so funny and so prolific.
Flores.
Huh?
It was Stephanie Flores.
Sure.
That's her name.
Okay, I believe you. I know you looked it up. So Patrice O'Neal was the one, and I think it was because it was around the same time my dad had 3 mini strokes around the same time, so it kind of like hit me harder.
Oh, I know who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't. I couldn't.
Yeah. So he was hilarious. So so that was one that I cried at, and then Robin Williams. I didn't cry. I did, because Robin Williams was the first comic I ever listened to as a kid. Robin Williams, Night at the Metropolitan Opera House, was the first cassette I ever owned, and I played it out. Like, it was like played out. And I bought it. I got it somewhere around here on CD because it was just so, and I remembered the whole thing from start to end. I remember I found out finally what the word omnipotent was a couple years ago. Some girl's like, "Yeah, that's because I'm omnipotent." And I'm like, "You're impotent?" She's like, "No, stupid. I'm omnipotent." And I'm like, "What does that mean?" Yeah, whatever. And I go, "What does that mean?" She goes, "I'm all knowing, and I'm God and I'm all knowing." And I'm like,
all knowing, all powerful.
Yeah. I was like, "Oh, now that joke that Robin Williams told makes sense when he says mom is omnipotent and she knows everything."
The clip of him during the USO tour. Yeah. I've seen almost everything that man's done. Every movie he's in. Robots is one of my favorite movies. Bicentennial Man is one of my top 5 favorite movies. And so and that's the thing with him. He was so versatile. Like, he could play the serious part in
Patch Adams. Made me fucking cry.
Patch Adams, Good Will Hunting, and then play the goofy part like Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah. Well, he was trained in Juilliard.
I got into Juilliard.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. I didn't go. I wish I did.
I mean, you were too busy.
Yeah, I was too busy. God, you are such a jackass.
I know. Anyway, but yeah, so I loved Robin, and so yeah, I cried when he passed away, and it was sad. And then now to know what he was going through. And all that stuff that was going on through his head, and of course they always the news always leads with drugs, no matter what. Anybody dies, it's right away to drugs, because that's what everybody thought. Everybody thought it was drug overdose and this and that.
Well, and now it's the COVID vaccine, but yeah.
And you don't think anything's wrong with that?
No, I didn't say that, but everyone automatically assumes.
Well, yeah. Of course.
Who was it?
You died. You died. It was the same thing with the COVID. You died of a splinter. You died of a splinter, and they're like, well, COVID death.
Someone. He played in Euphoria. August Cloud or Augustus.
The young kid. Yeah, the young kid. Yeah.
Everyone assumed that it was drugs, and his father died, and he went to Ireland and everything for the funeral, and he's committed suicide when he got back, and everyone just assumed it was the COVID because he was 25. That hit me hard. I loved him. It was like Euphoria was the first, like, his big break, and his character, they finally started building up his character in the second season, and it was just devastating.
You know, another devastating death for me was that kid who played Khrushchev in the Star Trek movie. The kid that got crushed to death by his car.
You want to know the like weird? I think we talked about it when you were here. When Paul Walker.
What about him?
No, was that it? The guy in Fast and
Furious? Yeah, Paul Walker.
Yeah, I hadn't watched that movie in years, and I put it on and literally got an update on a breaking news app that I had that he passed away. Like while I was watching the movie.
I never watch anything I'm in, please.
And it was, I mean, it was funny, but like not funny. But my friend sent me a list of movies they wanted me to watch and a list that I wasn't allowed to watch.
I mean, Euphoria, Paul Walker, stop watching movies. You're going to kill all these anime people, even though they're anime. But I mean, I still remember where I was when Paul Walker, I was at a birthday party with my first ex-wife. And I saw it, and I quickly went to Facebook, and I went, Paul Walker died exactly like he should have, like a douche. And boy, did I feel like a douche after that, because everything that came out, and that was one of the reasons why I stopped just getting mad, like saying things like quickly, like out there. Listen, I say it out here, whatever. It's a different story. I mean, putting it out there in writing, like on Twitter. I used to, as soon as everything came out on Twitter, I would just be.
Did you hear about Aaron Rodgers? So this guy, God, I can't remember. I think it was like Dr.
Oh, yeah.
Tweeted out 3 hours that in 2.5 hours, Aaron Rodgers would rupture his Achilles tendon. And then he did 2.5 hours later. And I was watching it. I didn't understand why he went down. I'm like,
yo, you didn't see it pop?
Mm-mm.
What? I don't want to show it. Because I saw it.
I mean, it was, I don't know. It just was bizarre. Like when I watched it happened live, I was like, oh, what a fucking pussy faking an injury. And then I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
But I'm used to LeBron James, who like gets hit and falls 20 seconds.
Listen, Aaron Rodgers has the biggest balls. And I was talking to somebody about this the other day. He has the biggest balls in the NFL because the NFL told him to get his COVID shot, and he went, "Go fuck yourself." And then the NFL went, "No, get your shot or you're not playing." And Aaron Rodgers went, "Okay, watch what happens then." And then the NFL was just like, "Hey, can somebody make him get a shot?" And he's like, "No, I'm not doing it. Come on, somebody get this." No, I'm not doing it. And then all of a sudden, it was just like, "All right, listen, you can't play for 2 quarters."
Over COVID. But I am happy that it's making a comeback.
Why? Oh, because you don't want anybody to go out? You like being home?
No. Well, we didn't have lockdowns here, but
that's why I moved out here.
I could cancel same-day doctor appointments without getting charged and just say, hey, I got a fever. I think I might have COVID.
I'm not wearing a fucking mask, man. I'm not.
I didn't wear a mask the entire pandemic.
Well, I mean, most of it I had to because of to go places, but I'm not, man. I'm like, fuck it. I just won't go. Now they have everything to, send it to the house. I just won't fucking go to the establishment, or I won't buy there. I'll buy somewhere else.
But I mean, wear one. Who cares?
Yeah. Well, this time. Well, listen. This time.
Last time, not me, Mitch. Or
yeah, but I mean, you're in the middle of the United States, like I am, and like, And so they don't care here in Jersey. Did you not see the fights that were going on at supermarkets? Because people, I got into a fight with a dude. Mind you, I was wearing my gator to here, right? This dude had a bandana on. He had a fucking bandana on, okay? And he's screaming at me to put it over my nose. And I go, no. And he goes, put it over your fucking nose. You're going to fucking kill him. What's wrong with you? You're a selfish piece of shit. And I go, go fuck yourself, buddy. He's like, no, you're selfish. You don't care. You don't care about this old guy. This old guy's going to die. And it's going to be your fault. And he wants the old guy. He goes, do you care? Yeah. Do you care for your life? Do you care that this guy's doing that? And the old man's like, listen, don't bring me into this. I don't give a fuck.
That was actually my first viral video on TikTok was I had done a duet about masks. I don't remember what the duet was. And me and a guy were talking back and forth in the comments, and this random person is like, it's just a minor inconvenience. Put a mask on and shut up or something like that. So I replied and I said, I was like, I'm Kelly. I was trafficked for 26 years. While I was trafficked, I was gagged. I had hands held over my mouth, hoods over my head. So when I wear a mask, it triggers my PTSD, flashbacks, nightmares, a whole slew of things. Does that seem like a minor inconvenience? Because you only want me to wear one for you. Oh, man. I had 6 weeks of it going viral with hate comment after hate comment. It got to the point where we went to South Dakota. We drove 3-4 hours to South Dakota to go to Walmart just to get me away from it. Because, I mean, I was stressed. And I was new then.
And in your area, people knew you?
No, I mean, it was on TikTok. People were saying stuff to me out in public. I mean, it was a nightmare. And I'm like, I had one nurse that was screaming at me. So I told her in graphic detail about one of the assaults. I'm like, and she's like, how can you just say that to me? Because you're yelling at me to wear a mask. And I told you I can't because of PTSD. You won't shut the fuck up. So yeah, I'm going to sit here and give you graphic detail on why I can't, hoping then you'll have sympathy because you're in violation of the American for Disability Act. I have a medical exemption because of a disability and your little rules do not trump federal law. And it was a whole big thing.
So when are we going to get me a new phone for free? Listen.
Next time you come up here.
But I mean, listen. I'm going to step out of character for a second. I'm going to. What happened to you? Huh?
Are you going to be serious?
I'm going to be nice.
What?
I'm going to be nice. Shut the fuck up. It's going to hurt. Step out of a character for. Do you want me to go back in? Shut the fuck up. What happened to you was probably the most horrific thing I could imagine happening to a person. And if I could slit every one of those person's fucking dick in half, if I could go back in time and do it, or even do it now, I would fucking do it. I would do one a day. I would do it slow so they would fucking know what that pain feels like. But when you try to tell somebody to put a mask on, like telling you, and you give them the graphic details of the reason why, you don't have to, but you did. Mm-hmm. And they look at you like, how do you talk to me like that? They're a piece of shit. Mm-hmm. They're a whole bout of piece of shit. Okay? I don't care. The things that you went through, no one should ever have to go through. No one should have to go through for 10 minutes. No one should have to go through for a fucking hour. You went through years of it. And for somebody to tell you to wear a fucking mask because of some fucking rule is grotesque and abysmal.
And here's the thing.
Into character. You deserved it.
Thank you. The way that the restrictions here, they did include a medical exemption. So, but their policy at that building didn't include a medical exception. It was a fucking eye doctor report.
And that's such bullshit. That is such. How do you make individual once again, people talk about like, oh, private businesses have the right to do this. Okay, then private businesses have the right to not make you wear a mask then. But no, they said every business had to wear a mask in Jersey anyway. Every place you had to wear a mask. They didn't give you an option. And when you did try to take an option like Atlas Gym, they didn't. They went, sent the cops after you like the Gestapo. They sent the cops after you, and then not only that, when they had a GoFundMe to help them pay for lawyers, the government took their money. So don't tell me they didn't, 1, force you to get a vaccine, 2, they didn't force you to wear a mask, or 3, they didn't force you to stay home. Okay, because that's all nonsense bullshit.
They didn't care, but I mean, it wasn't as strict.
But still, but I mean,
doctors' offices were bad, but everywhere, no one else cared. Like, I walked into Walmart and they would be like, "Do you have a mask?" And I'm like, "Medically exempt," and just kept on walking.
Well, I mean, listen. Once again, they tell you 2 weeks to slow the spread turns into fucking 3 years. Like, I don't.
Not slow the spread, flatten the curve.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't even want to go back there. I still have PTSD from all that.
I do too. Dude, I fear this drive this week, man. I really do. I'm having a panic attack right now just thinking about going back to that shithole. I don't want to go, but it's for a good cause, you know?
Just fly her out.
I want to make sure she comes, Cal. I want to make sure she gets here because I know her. If I do not go and get her and bring her here, she's not coming. There's been multiple times where she says she's going to come.
Okay.
Listen, I want to explain it for the studio audience. Shut up.
Nobody cares.
Like
I'm the only one watching right now.
You deserved it, fucker. Anyway, if I don't go and grab her and put her in the car with her shit, she's not coming. So I'm going to get her and bring her here.
Kicking and screaming and against her will. That's called.
I don't care. She's 20 years old. I don't care. And when the police come, I say that's my child. Fuck off.
That's an adult.
It's my child. Hey, listen. She actually said, she goes, "Can I do the podcast with you?" And I go,
with
"Yeah,
us?
Yeah." She wants to do the podcast with us, so I'm gonna try to set this up so that way I have another camera. So I'm gonna have to set up another account, but
it's gonna be so much fun 2 against 1.
Listen, it's always one. I'm always by myself. Nobody's on my side ever. When is anybody ever on my side? Never.
I was
on your
other podcast when you made your joke about the sunroof. I was 100% on your side.
Because you were actually paying attention. The other two were in fucking vacation. One was Mama J was on vacation mode, and fucking Biz was too busy hating on JFK Jr. or whatever, RFK Jr. He was so mad about that, and nobody was paying attention. And I was like, well, but it made a good reel. I mean, it was 2 strikes. But yeah, so
like, look at this, babe. They'll never love him the way I do.
Listen, everybody's busy doing research on that one. This one, we just fucking wing it. What am I going to say?
Yeah, it's so much better this way.
Well, listen, no, I mean, listen, the other way is we have to inform. We'd like to inform people on what's going on and stuff like that and do our research, then and there. But, this one is just more free flowing. And then Sundays is more of a, more pop culture. Bro.
What?
Holy shit.
Gonna fill me in or at all?
Can I not shit my pants for 3 seconds? Can I get a 4 count at least? I just felt something breathe down my neck. I swear to God, I swear I felt cold air breathe down my fucking, and the vents are on the floor. There's no vents up. Huh?
Get Gabrielle.
Who's Gabrielle?
Isn't that chick that came on?
Oh, yeah. Gabby?
Gabby, yeah.
I don't know her full name. I know her as Gabby. It's like I know you as Kelly. I don't know you as fucking Miranda, Janiqua, Janana, whatever the fuck your other 17 names were. I know you as Kelly. I know her as Gabby. But yeah, I swear to God, like there's no windows open, no nothing. I just felt cold air breathe down the back of my neck. It scared the fuck out of me just now.
We gotta calm you down.
Scratching on that doesn't calm me down.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't. Actually, no. Never mind. I'm not telling you that story.
Hitting your dick hard.
You're so gross. You're so fucking gross. Actually,
my friend, so I hate her boyfriend, fiance, whatever he is. He's a dick. He really is. And I sent her one of my old mods, and he was like, they were fighting, and he said that he was gonna smash it if she didn't shut up or some shit. He's very abusive.
What's a mod? Oh, a pod.
No, it's the ones with the.
Oh, okay. Ones. Yeah.
So she's like, I just didn't think he was gonna throw it, and I can't. She's like, so I was just like, you're a dick. I'm like, see, when men do that, I like to respond with, did that make your dick feel bigger than it actually is?
And you know what? That's the best fucking response out there. It really is.
Yeah, like that time me and Mitch fought, I was like, does your dick feel bigger? Like,
to be honest with you, that's like if a girl pops out a tit in the middle of an argument. It's like, all right, it's over. All right, I'm done.
A lot
I can't.
of times I'm like, yo, I get your dick is small, but can we calm it down a little bit?
Leave Mitch alone.
One time though, we were fighting.
He gave you Owen. All right, leave him alone.
One time we were fighting, and he's like, why do you have to be such a condescending cunt? I'm like, you knew I was one when you married me. You don't get to complain about it now.
Yes, you do. Mm-mm. It's like voting for Biden. You voted for him, and now you're gonna complain about it. Then it's your fucking fault, pal. Listen,
you wasn't even being condescending either. He's just a pussy.
You're always condescending. It doesn't matter.
Not. I am actually a very nice person.
To who? Owen?
A lot of people.
Owen is the only person you're nice to.
I'm nice to my daughters. I'm nice to the survivors that I work with. What?
Yeah. Of course you're nice to the survivors. They're like your best friends. You guys understand each other.
I can't stand survivors. No, it's not like that.
So go ahead, say that on the podcast. Go ahead, tell everybody how you really feel.
It's survivors, not real ones. Like, it's, with sex trafficking these days, everything is sex trafficking. Like, I got tagged in a video today of a woman that found a zip tie on her car. And she can't believe it. And I'm just like, I messaged my friend that tagged me. I'm like, please delete it, because I can't fight the urge to say that woman put it on there for clout, because it's been proven to be false over and over and over and over again.
Like the girl that Me Too'd Aziz Ansari, and it was just a horrible date.
Yeah.
Like
so the fake sex trafficking videos go so viral that everybody does them now because they think that's going to get them to go viral. And it's just like, shut up. Like, no.
Well, I mean, everybody's just trying.
Sick that I found today.
Of course I do. But yeah, it's just like everything else. Everybody sees something that goes viral and they just jump on it. And it's like, dude, and that's, it's like the whole stolen valor shit and everybody wants to be a part of that. Like, no, like, those people are mental. The stolen valor people who put on the uniforms and they really think that
happening in the survivor world right now.
Huh?
That's what's happening in the survivor world. Practically stolen valor. All right. So this is a Pennsylvania state constable. Over 700 charges.
Is this what you were telling me about today?
No. This came up after that.
Okay.
58 counts of trafficking individuals. That's 58 separate victims. 58 separate victims of involuntary servitude, sexual extortion. Like,
he had slaves?
That is what trafficking is. This is what I was talking about.
Well, no. Let's finish this, and then we can get to that one.
Okay. So
this will lead into that. Just one count of rape.
Yeah.
All that with one count of rape.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's the thing. What a lot of people don't understand is there's a difference between a trafficker and a buyer. The traffickers generally don't do stuff with the victims. That's
really
what buyers do. Yeah.
Really? That's interesting. I never. I mean, your parents, but I wouldn't. But anyway, like that's interesting to me. That because I would think that person would be like the fucking like what was that guy from Waco, David Koresh or whatever it was, where he was having sex with all the girls at the same and then I would think that they would be just banging them out left and right and then giving them out.
But it's like so. With Virginia Giuffre, she was sent to Eva and Glenn Dubin, allegedly, by Epstein and Maxwell to practice. And that's kind of what traffickers do, is they will have either victims do it to each other, to other victims, or their buddies and things. But the traffickers aren't the ones that are purchasing and doing things to them. It happens, but it's not the norm. Like I said to you before, Epstein wasn't a trafficker. He was a buyer. Ghislaine Maxwell brought girls to him. He raped them and paid them. He was a buyer.
So,
But yeah, this constable, over 700. It's insane. It's been like, I think, a 2-year investigation.
Don't you just love that they just let it? I mean, I get that they have to let it go on, but don't you just like, how do you just sit there and watch this shit happen over and over again for 2 years and you allow I mean, like you were saying with the fake Jesus, like, you know, he had to watch this stuff. Like these police watched this stuff for 2 years.
Well, he wasn't a police. He was a constable.
Yeah, but you know what? Oh well, what is that? Whatever that. It's a police car, isn't it?
From what my understanding is, a constable is the one that like serves warrants and serves lawsuits and things like that. At least where I live. But this is the case. So I'm going to leave it up on the Google search and then I'll get more into it because it pisses me off the way that it's being reported. Okay. So this one actually says sex trafficking, but look, sex crime charges, sex crimes. Prosecutor charge 26-year-old Lincoln man who posed as a high school student. Like, you actually have to click on it and look through it to find out that at like sex related charges, sex crime charges. So what?
Well, when me and Jackie were talking about a teacher, I forget where it was, that was having a relationship with his student, and they only got caught because they were kissing in school eventually. And it literally, in the article, it had an asterisk over the E in sexual assault. And it was like, it's a news article. What are you doing? But yeah, they will censor this stuff. And
the thing is, so what this man did, he is.
What, you're not going to pull up an article?
No, I can't even look at his face. He was charged with 15 felonies, most of which are aggravated sexual assault of a minor, aggravated sexual assault, sex trafficking of a minor. Two of the charges and two of the victims predate him going into the school and enrolling as a student. He was 26 years old. And he was in 2 separate schools in Lincoln for 58 days. He transferred in, I want to say it was January of 2023 to a different high school. And he wasn't arrested until July of this year. Um, he is a son of a pastor at a Lutheran church in Lincoln. And their statement was to keep him and his father in their prayers. That's a statement they put out to their parish or whatever it's called.
I was just about to say who put out that prayer, but then you finished it with their parish, and I was like,
it was what the pastor put out, and anyone who may be affected by his actions. Now, he didn't just wake up one day and think, I'm going to enroll in high school so I can traffic some 14-year-olds, because the girls he did this to were between 13 and 14. So they were freshmen. Somebody helped him. He had this is a quote from the superintendent, very believable forged documents of transcripts, birth certificates, etc., which allowed him to enroll in the school. He went there to traffic girls. He's also charged with manufacturing child sexual assault material. That's what he went to the school for. And it predated him enrolling in these schools. Yet no one else is being investigated. Not the parents, not teachers. I mean, my daughter said in school on a daily basis, she walks past at least 20 adults. And that's between teachers, security guards, hall monitors, like just regular people that are supposed to be there. Nobody noticed. Nobody noticed. And the Lincoln Police Department just ends the investigation, arrests him. Their police chief abruptly resigns after only being on the job for less than 2 years. And that's it. We're not going to, like,
were they related? Was he related to the police chief at all?
We don't know. A lot of people said there was a connection, but I haven't seen any proof of what that connection is. But it's like, they are so ignorant about what trafficking is that they don't see that there's a bigger picture here and there are more characters in this. The parents need to be investigated, and guaranteed, as much as I hate saying it, that man was probably trafficked and has probably been being trafficked and was specifically groomed to go to that school to recruit victims. This is how they do it. And there's red flags all over the place, but nobody knows. And the local anti-trafficking organization that's in Lincoln, they are not allowed near the victims because they're faith-based. At least that's what they're saying. But
who, the victims are faith-based or the organization?
Is. But I don't think that's why. I think there's other reasons, but that's going to stay right up here for now. But it's a terrible situation.
You can't. No, you can't do that. I need to know why.
I'll talk to you about it later. I'm not on camera. So I was looking into similar crimes. There have been multiple instances of teachers having sexual relationships with children. One of them, it wasn't that bad. She was like 22. He was 17. If she wasn't his teacher, she wouldn't have been arrested. But there was one whose bond got revoked just this morning because the relationship with the child was continuing. And a couple of years ago, prior to COVID, there was a man that got arrested in Atlanta, Georgia for having child sexual assault material. They traced it all the way back to an overnight daycare. 5 and 6-year-old kids were at this daycare overnight, and the daycare worker, just one was arrested, was using the kids to create the child sexual assault material and distribute it. But no one else that was working at that daycare got in trouble. And the daycare is sketchy as shit because they were continuously closed down for sealed reports. There is a huge cover-up going on in Nebraska, and I don't understand it. I've been digging into article after article. This has been going on for years. No one's protecting the kids there.
That's because I don't think that they believe that it would go on there. I don't think that they realize that it goes on everywhere, but they don't. They think that it's such a small community or whatnot, or it's a small town, or it's in the middle of the U.S. and it wouldn't happen there. And I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and like we were talking about how the difference is between here and the cities and stuff like that. And they were saying that they went to the city.
Prevalent outside of the cities. That's the
but
thing.
Yeah, but that's the thing that they don't see that. They don't. And people in the Midwest and in the Central America, in central of the United States, like they're nice, and they're more gullible than people in like the East Coast and the West Coast. Because I was talking to somebody and they're like, yeah, I went to New York once, because everybody here has been, their cousin lives in New Jersey, but they haven't seen him. Their uncle, they went to Jersey one time. They went to, I went to Newark Airport. I was sitting in Newark Airport and I looked outside and I was there for about a couple hours. And then and then we passed through LaGuardia Airport. That place is so nice. That's everybody out here. But like they don't realize, and then somebody else I was talking to was like, yeah, I went out there and I started talking to the homeless people, and I'm like, are you out of your fucking mind? And they're like, yeah, my cousin had to take me and pull me away, and was just like, don't do that. And they're like, oh, well, I'm just trying to be nice. They're like, yeah, don't do that. And I was like, yeah, don't fucking do that. You're lucky to be here right now that they didn't try to stone you or try to take you and kidnap you. I'm like, but I understand it. Like I said, my ex-wife, like she was like being really nice to people, and it irked the fuck out of me because I'm like, why are you being so fucking nice to these people? And like,
oh my God, when I first got here, someone cut me off in the grocery store and they're like, I'm sorry, and backed out of the way. I'm like, what the fuck did you just say to me? And they're like, you're from the East Coast, aren't you?
What is it? When my ex-wife is getting like people's phone numbers to like hang out and stuff like that, and I'm like, whose dick you sucking? Huh? Whose fucking dick you want to suck, huh? You want to suck his dick, don't you? And she's just like, no, his wife was just like, hey, we should hang out. And I'm like, yeah, here's his phone number. He wants to hang out. He said we should go, you should. And I'm like, no. You want. But now that I'm out here, I get it. I'm like, I even apologized. I'm like, listen, I am so sorry that I yelled at you that time, because now dude, I will be in the bathroom and my boss will come in the bathroom and go, hey, what's up? I'm leaving for the day. So make sure this and this and this is taken care of. That's taken care of. That's taken. And I go, okay. And then he walks out and I go, what the fuck did I turn into? Like I'm actually I hate talking.
Well, when we drove up to that farm to go buy all that meat on Friday, like I was looking at all the crops and I'm just like, God, our crops look like shit this year. Like, what are we going to do next year? Like, I'm like, what the fuck? I am such a Midwesterner now.
I know.
And it just happens out of nowhere.
Literally. Like, listen, I will literally, when the cops come, I will literally pull out of the way nicely and go right into the other lane whenever the traffic starts. Like I did it today. I fucking did it today, Cal. And I was just like, and I snapped out of it for a second. I went, fuck. Like everybody, it went to one lane and I was right behind the person and I saw the left lane clear as day for another half a mile. Clear as day, half a mile. And for a second, I went like this to jerk the wheel and I went, nah. And then I went, what the fuck happened to me? I was like, what?
Okay, so when I was living in Pennsylvania, I had to go to Michigan to pick up a survivor, and she needed to travel to a different state, and I found her a spot at a shelter in Pennsylvania. So I was driving back through Ohio, and I got pulled over on the Ohio Turnpike. So the cop gets me out of the car. And he's like, do you know why I pulled you over? I'm like, I was following traffic. And he's like, you were tailgating. I'm like, this isn't a football game. What do you mean tailgating? And he's like, you weren't like 20 seconds behind the car in front of you. I'm like, that is not a distance. That's like time. And he's like, where did you learn to drive? I'm like, Philadelphia. He's like, oh yeah, you guys don't know what tailgating is. You have to be like a car length. I'm like, so what?
Hey.
Someone cuts me off? No.
For every 10 miles an hour you go, you're supposed to be a car length behind that person so you can stop. Yeah, I didn't listen. I didn't know that until I moved out here either.
So then he's like, okay, ma'am, I'm going to ask you to get in the back of my cruiser. I'm like, am I under arrest? He's like, should you be? I'm like, probably, but not for anything that's happening here.
Not for a shooting that happened in 1991. Sorry, sir. Never mind.
So he puts me in the back of the cop car. He pulls Mitch out, talks to him, puts him in the back.
Mitch was with you?
Yeah. And Owen and Opie, my dog that passed away last year. So he pulls me out and he's like, we have a problem. And I'm like, yeah, I know. He's like, we have 3 adults and none of you have a valid driver's license. I'm like, mm-hmm. I was like, I have one. I just don't remember which state it's from. And he's like, well, we can't find you in the system. I'm like, yeah, that happens a lot. And he's like, I just want to let you know that we have to treat this like an investigation because this is a major highway used for drug and sex trafficking. I'm like, you don't have to explain yourself.
I've been here before, officer.
He's like,
I know this highway very well, sir.
He had 3 adults with IDs from 3 different states. I was like, dude, you're good. He's like, I'm just gonna.
Where were you back in the 90s, sir? Sir, where were you in the 90s? I needed you, you fuck.
So he's like, I'm going to get back in my car and go back there. Your van better be gone in 5 minutes. I'm like, holy shit, you guys can get tow trucks out here in 5 minutes? He's just shaking his head at me. He's like, I can't tell you that you're allowed to illegally drive your car. But I will tell you that if it's here in 5 minutes, I'm going to give you a citation. I'm like, so what's the number for the tow truck company?
Oh my God.
He's like,
were you being real?
Yeah.
Or just
I've never gotten I got pulled over one time and got a ticket. And I had it thrown out in court, but I had no idea
we know you get free cell phones.
I thought they would tell me I'm just going to let you off with a warning. Like he wasn't telling me I'm letting you off with a warning. He's like, I'm going to go over there, drive your car away. It was a nightmare.
And Mitch didn't get the hint either.
He wasn't there. He was still, because what happened when I was in the back of the cop car, I reached forward and honked his horn and his face was great. And he's like, I'm like, listen, I understand you got to do your job, but I don't know that woman very well. My child's in that car. I don't want her in there. Can me and her swap places? And that's when he pulled me out and we had this little conversation.
Now I understand white privilege. Now I really do.
Well, no, I had black hair. It's dit girl privilege.
You reached through the car and you honked his horn. You honked the horn at a cop like, hey pal, can you come back here to have a conversation? You know, if you were darker, you probably would have been shot through the window.
Whatever. But anyway, so taking that interaction with Nebraska and where all of this stuff is happening. Oh, there's another thing. There's a rise in money mules in Nebraska. And it's kind of related to the sextortion stuff. But what they're doing is they're posing as teenagers, getting teenagers to send them compromising pictures. Hold on, I'll pause in a second. And they're posting them onto websites. They're not even trying to extort them or get them to pay the money. They're just using their pictures to put them on child sexual assault material sites.
What's a money mule?
I just explained it.
That's what a money mule is? Is that they're just...
That's the term that the FBI is using. I don't like it.
It's just like that makes no sense.
But they're paying kids to create child sexual assault material for them to put on sites, but the kids don't know that.
Oh, so like they'll go start a kids only OnlyFans and then send them.
Yeah, basically.
Jesus.
So now I-80 runs through Nebraska and I-90 runs through South Dakota. Big highways like that go east to west or north to south, covering the entire country. They are huge ways that not only sex trafficking, human trafficking, but drug trafficking, arms trafficking, all of that, because it's major highways that take you across the country.
They sell people's arms?
No.
Oh.
Guns.
You said arm trafficking.
Arms. Guns.
Oh.
Jackass. But it's
you said arms. I thought they were selling people's arms.
No, nobody's selling people's arms.
I mean, they're selling their vaginas. They're selling vaginas and booty holes.
It's like,
I just figured maybe the arms were attached to it too.
So Lincoln is on I-80. It's about 330,000 people are in Lincoln. Omaha also on I-80, right over the bridge from
the
Council
Stakes.
Bluff. These are cities in Nebraska.
Oh,
that has about a 550,000 population. So, and the entire population of Nebraska is less than 2 million. So the majority are in on I-80, less than an hour apart, the majority of the people that live there, but they don't know a damn thing about trafficking. And Nebraska is smack dab in the middle of the country. It's a great place to hide because it's like you drive and you go through a big city and then you drive for an hour of farms and you go through a city and then drive.
It's like it's like Kansas.
Exactly.
Kansas is the same thing.
Just Kansas, like South Dakota too, and North Dakota, and all of the Midwest.
I had to take my roommate to get a TV in Lawrence, which is the next town over. It's 45 minutes away.
Yeah, but it's just like, when the fuck are people going to wake up?
They're not. They're not.
I don't get it.
People are just and we had this discussion. It's called the micro versus the macro, and we need to have Mama J on. The micro versus the macro. The micro are the people who just care about their own little bubble. And the majority of people do. That's it. That's the problem. The majority of people just think about their own little struggles.
That they only care about things when they're told to. Like, people had asked me a long time ago about Ashton Kutcher, and I said he's a piece of shit. I've always felt that way. Well, what about his testimony in front of Congress and Thorne? I don't care. He did what? An 8-minute testimony and then did what? Nothing. And now, because of what happened with Danny Masterson, now people are mad at him because they're being told to be mad. And now they're questioning the things that he's done in the past and questioning him and Mila's relationship, starting when she was 14 years old. And I got a video right now going, not viral, but going on TikTok. I think it's at like 40,000 views.
Hey, by the way, would you stop posting shit from a year ago, 2 years ago? How about you post some new shit?
I'm gonna. I'm getting there, dude. I got PTSD. I'm getting there. But the Will Wheaton one, people are like shocked. And I'm like, this was a year ago. And he has been speaking out for a long time. So many people are speaking out. Stop doing it. And stop caring when you're being told to.
That's when people care. That's the only time. It's the only time people care is when they're told to care. Nobody listens and looks. Like we talk about it all the time. We talk about on the Business Party podcast about CBDC and all this stuff. Nobody cares. Nobody's talking. And then all of a sudden CBDC became a big thing. And now all of a sudden, everybody's like, oh, CBDC. Like, yeah, people have been telling us this forever. They've been telling us for a long time. And
What's CBDC?
Central bank digital currency.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah. So like we've been talking about it for a long time. It's been in the news for a long time and nobody cares. Nobody's going to care until they can't get money out and they have to pay with all credit cards and everything like that. And then they're going to go, well, how come I can't pay with cash?
Well, you want to know why.
But that's the same thing with sex trafficking. Like nobody cares until like somebody goes, hey, look at what happened with that 70s show. Don't you think it's something weird now? And it's like, don't you think people were saying that back when Ashton Kutcher was 18 or whatever he was and Mila Kunis was 14 years old and they were kissing on TV? But no, Hollywood don't give a fuck.
Well, and Mitch was talking about a Supreme Court decision. I can't for the life of me remember the name of it, but it basically stated that if there's going to be a sex scene for children, it has to be adults. And I'm like, okay. He's like, well, Fast Times at Ridgemont High would be considered child sexual assault material. I'm like, say that again and say it slower. And he's like, I'm not following. I'm like, if it would be considered child sexual assault material, why the fuck is it allowed in Hollywood and a movie? Say it again and say it fucking slower. Yeah. Like people just they don't.
But I don't know. But were they under 18?
Some of them were. Pretty Little Liars was it was another show he brought up, but it's like. He's like, all these shows like that you like would not be able to be made. So, and I was like, he was talking about, oh God.
Cuties again?
No, it was a girl wearing a blue bikini in a pool. Oh God, what movie? Why can't I think of the name of it? Phoebe something.
Phoebe Cates. It was Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah. And he's talking about that scene.
But I don't think Phoebe Cates was underage then. I think he might have been talking about the girl that has sex in the dugout that gets pregnant. I don't know if she was of age, but she probably was of I don't know. She probably was of age.
And that's the thing. It's just like, but then it's like with the Will Wheaton video that I have going right now, people are like, Hollywood parents. No, all parents. It's not just Hollywood. Like, stop with the Hollywood shit.
Well, you remember the movie Kids back in the day? It went around. You never seen it? It was.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
That movie
okay.
It was good.
I think all those kids were underage, and that movie was just about kids having sex. That movie was really fucked up. That movie was real, and I think it was filmed in Jersey too.
Did you ever see the movie 13?
No. Nope. I didn't see that one or the one because that movie with was it Nicolas Cage and he gets sucked into the two girls, or was that 13?
No, 13 is about a girl that cuts and self-harms.
Yeah, and there was another movie with Nicolas Cage where he goes into a house and these two underage girls are trying to fuck him and then kill him or something like that. I can't watch those movies. One, because I have a fucking daughter. And I remember her at that age, and it bothers me. And two, like, I don't want to see young girls like that. Like, it bothers me. It bothers me. Just like rape scenes. I can't do rape scenes. I like The Sopranos. When Dr. Melfi gets raped, I fast forward through it. I can't do it.
See that yet?
I can't do it. Like I really. The one that it almost made me throw up was Last House on the Left. That girl gets fucking raped for like 2 minutes, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't fucking do it. Like Why does he always text me when I'm on a podcast?
Who?
Cody. He's like, "Oh, come outside."
Dude, like,
no, my son.
Okay.
My son.
That's right.
No, he's always like, come outside, or he's got a question. Dude, like he doesn't, nobody really bothers me and most of the day. Then I go to do podcasts or something like that, or I'm busy in the middle of something. Like, okay. Huh?
Welcome to motherhood. I haven't been able to go to the bathroom alone in like years.
Because you have a service dog and Mitch.
And Owen and cats. Oh, I don't know. I've spent the last 2 days looking into all of these things in Nebraska. So what brought it to my attention is I have a Google alert for sex trafficking news that gets emailed to me. Now, at first I had it set up as it comes in, and my email was blowing up every other minute. So I changed it to in the morning. And it's just like, I don't get it. Like, there is so much information out there. There are so many survivors that want to put an end to this, myself included. But I call and say, hey, would you like a little bit of education? So like there was a man in Pennsylvania that was arrested a few weeks ago that was trafficking girls out of a couple's hotel. And I took a look at his Facebook page. In 5 seconds, I could see he was part of a bigger ring. And I contacted the local police department and I told them what I know. And we'll look into it. And I'm like, you're going to miss it. And they had a couple of years ago in the same area, 3 victims, 2 traffickers.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
So to make it sound easier, so me, you, and Mitch. One was a victim of me and Mitch. One was a victim of Mitch and you, but none were a victim of me and you. They said there was no connection. Like, what the fuck do you mean there's no connection? And that's what it was because the victims were not victims of all 3 of them. They determined that they weren't connected and it wasn't a larger ring and there's no threat to the public. And I called them. I'm like, you have a trafficking ring. That is a trafficking ring. Like, what are you doing up there? You don't do shit. And it's like, it's so frustrating because people want survivors to tell parts of their stories that they're uncomfortable with. They want to demand the names of Epstein's client list. They want all this stuff from us survivors. But when we offer it, they don't want to hear it. Or when we tell our stories, they tell us we're telling it wrong. Like, I'm so done. Like, I'm so beyond frustrated.
Yeah. It's... see what and I'm going to step out of character again. What I love about you is that you don't give a fuck. It's like you're just like, bitch, listen, this is what I went through, and I mean, and that's great, and I appreciate the way you how open.
It took 11 years of me being away to get there.
No, I completely understand that, but it's just like, but the way you still just nonchalant, because there's survivors that will never tell their story.
Mm-hmm.
There's survivors who will never go back and never try to. Meanwhile, there's you. I was trafficked in that bathroom right there. I was trafficked in that. Look at this gas station. My mom decided to drop me off here, and then and that's why I love doing this podcast, because
I had some random person come up to me once. I don't even remember where we were, and they were like, "I know you from somewhere." I'm like, well, either you've seen me on TikTok or you've seen child sexual assault material with me in it. So you pick which one makes you look like the better person.
TikTok. I saw you on TikTok.
They didn't even say that. They just turned around and walked away. I'm like, yeah, that's what I thought.
Excuse me. Do you have a freckle on Uranus? Because
I actually do.
Oh, Jesus.
I have a birthmark. You want to see it?
No.
No, I wouldn't show you anyway.
Jesus.
But it's like, I literally have people in my comments telling me if I don't name names, because I will not say my parents' names, if I don't, and I don't call the police to tell the police that they're sex traffickers, even though the police won't do a damn thing.
I was just going to say, not like the police are going to fucking do anything, because it's been like.
They tell me if I don't do that, it is my fault that if they are continuously trafficking people right now. And I'm like, finally had it. And I'm like, you know what? If it wasn't my fault that they did it to me, it's not my fault if they do it to someone else. Stop putting the guilt and responsibility on us survivors and telling us that we have to do things so you can be fucking lazy.
Everybody's lazy. Everybody's lazy. Nobody wants to,
And I also, the other comment I get was, were they victims? Who fucking cares if they were victims or not? I was, and I didn't choose evil. Who cares?
Listen, but we go back to the 26-year-old. You're saying the same thing. Most likely he was trafficked, and he's doing it. He's setting up traffic.
Yeah, but I was also 26 when I left. He's still in it. He's not a survivor. He didn't get out.
Yeah, but still, like I'm saying, it's still kind of the same in the same vein, because he's,
Yeah, but I wouldn't say that to his victims.
What?
I wouldn't say to his victims, okay, but he was a victim too.
But
thank God.
Shut your fucking mouth.
I'm just I'm so frustrated. And that's why I'm not making new videos. I can't. Like I'm having panic attacks trying to make videos. Like I was live last night for like 20 minutes and I was like sitting here fidgeting, like doing all my compulsions. Like I couldn't do it. I'd get off.
If we went live, it'd be so much different than when we first went live. We'd be kicked off in 10 minutes. We'd be so kicked bully
a couple times.
Yeah, you did for saying midget because I said midget. You got kicked off. But yeah, no, like, and things like shit like that is what frustrates me. Is because you're here, you want to tell your story, you want to tell everybody how your side, like what you and listen. And you say, and everybody else, everybody's different, okay? You tell your story. Everybody has their own separate story. Everybody has their own way to tell their story. You just bulldog it and put it right in people's face. And a lot of people just don't like that. And that's why, and that's how I feel. I'm just going to bulldog it and put it in your face. And that's the way it should be. But people are too fucking sensitive nowadays. Mm-hmm. And people don't want the truth to get out, and people don't want the, and they're like, well, you're here and, you guys have a podcast. So apparently you have a voice. Yeah, we have a podcast to 12 people. Okay. To 12 people if we're lucky. But, but there are algorithms that won't, huh?
I'll show you something.
There's algorithms that won't push us out, like YouTube, like, Twitter probably, and Rumble, where we are right now, like on the Business Party Rumble, because
so this was posted 3 stars on my podcast on July 25th of 2023. Shocking to hear that this kind of stuff is going on, but I want to hear about her life, not necessarily life incidents. She talks about going to school, church, having siblings, but doesn't get into any details of those things. What did that kind of home life really look like? Like, I want the story from beginning to end. Were these things happening to her siblings? I'm glad that publishing her life experience is so cathartic, but I want more of the mundane story. Go fuck yourself. That's what I think about that. And I mentioned it in an episode and I said, I don't talk about that because I don't like to talk about the mundane things, because school was just a constant reminder that everyone saw bruises. Everyone saw signs and did nothing. That is more traumatic to me, that I spent 8 hours a day with students, with teachers, and nobody did anything and they saw it. They all saw it. They all knew something was going on. I mean, Christ, in 90-degree weather.
I mean, you are a klutz.
I'm not. And I wasn't then. And
listen, I know.
And that's the thing. The entire neighborhood knew they were doing something to me. They didn't know what, but they knew something was happening. What did they do? They went to my mother and they asked my mother, why is she not wanting to go home? She's like blah, 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 blah. Oh, well, she's just delusional. She makes stuff up. The same lie that they told everyone. But the second my father stole money from the homeowners association, all of them called the cops instantly.
Of course.
As soon as it affects people's lives, that's when they care. They won't. And I can't tell you how many times people ask me how they can report because they're scared. I'm like, you are a grown person. You are an adult. That is a child. You're scared? The fuck do you think that child is going through? How do you think they feel? Save the child. Make the damn report.
But that's what I'm talking about, the micro versus the macro. The micro is they go to your mother, and they go, hey, what's wrong with her? And your mother goes, oh, she's delusional. And then the macro is your dad steals from the homeowners association. Now everybody's fucked, and everybody goes, wait a minute, there's something wrong now. Nobody gives a shit when it's just this little portion. They wait until it becomes a huge thing. Like if sex trafficking was happening to like, I don't know, every other adult or every other child, and people knew about it, there'd be something going on. But since it happens,
1 in 4.
1 in 4. Meanwhile, they'll tell you 1 in 4 college students are raped, and it's a huge deal. Yet 1 in 4 kids are sex trafficked, and they go, bah. Because you know why? Because the one story is more titillating than the other. And that's the only reason why the news actually gloms onto things. You think the news is here to tell you what's going on? No, they're there to make money. You think they're brought to you by Pfizer, brought to you by Doritos, brought to you by Chips Ahoy? They don't care. Whatever makes them money is that's it. Remember the Michael Brown riots for 20, like it was on the news. That was brought to you by every single fucking advertisement there was out there. The city of Ferguson was burning down, and it was brought to you by Tony the fucking Tiger. They're great. Okay? They do not give a shit about you. They care about ratings and money. And if it's not going to sell, they don't care.
Well, I was having some issues, and the courthouse here was violating federal law that put my life in a lot of danger. And I called the police. I called so many people, congressmen, to try to get this situation handled. And I just kept hitting dead end after dead end after dead end. I finally called the news, and I'm like, this has got, like, we need this to be talked about because my life is in danger, and the courthouse is allowing it, violating not only federal law, but state law. And they're just letting it happen. Oh, well, we don't cover those kinds of stories. Of course you fucking don't. Which is like the same reason I'm all over Twitter with this guy in Lincoln. I'm so pissed about this. And the news is like the man accused of posing as a student. He is not accused of posing as a fucking student. It was confirmed by the superintendent, and 0 of his charges had anything to do with that. Thank you, babe. He's accused of trafficking.
Wait. What did he give you? I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it.
The man is accused of sex trafficking.
Wait a minute.
At a high school. I'm
Mitch,
still talking.
Mitch gave you your baba.
Mm-hmm.
He thought you were getting a little excited.
No,
so he brought you your baba.
I texted him and asked. But it's like,
you couldn't let the joke go, could you?
There is a trafficking ring in the Lincoln high schools. There are teachers that are involved, hall monitors, other students. This church is probably involved, but no one's going to talk about it. No one's going to do anything about it. They're just going to act like one article that I read goes on talking about all these other adults that went to high school and posed as students with no sex charges. Why are you laughing at me?
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the fact that the news is garbage, because that's what they do. They start to tell you the backstory, like, you know, listen, there's child sex trafficking going on. But remember back in 1997 when John Daly decided that he was going to pose as an 18-year-old student, or said, like, nobody cares. How about you just report the fact that this is going on?
When Ghislaine Maxwell got convicted, it was such a bizarre day for me. I was going to get turtles, and I was on the highway. I know. I stopped after these 2 turtles. They were all alone. They'd been there for 3 weeks. Anyway, my friend just texted me 5 out of 6. And I had sent her a couple of books. So I was like, that's a weird way to rate it. Usually it's like 1 out of 5 or like 5 stars or 10 stars. She's like, no, she got convicted of 5 out of the 6 charges. And I'm like, what? Like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, and I've been fucking smoking ever since. I cannot quit, and fuck her. Anyway,
Well, you tried to.
No, she tried to.
Well, you tried to. Never mind. I'm not gonna say that on there.
It's like I went and I made a video on TikTok, and I'm like,
didn't you make enough as a kid?
Pay attention to what the news is saying. Sexual abuse, sex crimes. They won't call it fucking trafficking. And that's exactly what our fucking charges were. We're trafficking. I'm so done.
Yeah.
That's why I eat yogurt and play Roblox and Zelda all day. I got a
Does Mitch ever put like two-way tape on his boobs and just let you suckle from?
No, I got these because he said the Go-Gurts were getting expensive.
Yeah, everything's getting expensive.
So now I can buy the big tubs of yogurt and fill these up.
You eat the regular yogurt?
It's strawberry.
Like what kind though? Can you stop sucking for 4 seconds and just answer the damn question? Holy shit!
I think it's Yoplait.
They have big tubs of Yoplait. I didn't know that. That's what I mean. The only yogurts I know are the fucking ones with like 37 grams of protein, and they taste like hard milk.
No, this one.
Are you smelling it?
No, I'm looking for a picture on my phone of the big ones.
I don't want to see those. Keep those to your personal collection.
No, they're like 32 ounces.
Yeah. Okay. Yoplait lights. Okay.
Yeah. So there's a little, what do you call it? Funnel to put it in.
Does he ever make you do that with pigtails on?
Mm-mm. He's so basic in bed, it's like ridiculous.
Listen, I just something got turned on in me about a month ago that I never thought was going to be turned on in me before, and I'm just wow.
Hentai.
Huh? No. Yeah, we know. We heard about you and your daughter's fucking fascination with feminine men.
Hentai. That's regular anime. Hentai is actual anime porn.
Yeah, it's just.
But I know no one's being raped in it because it's a cartoon. Most porn is trafficking victims.
But they do rape in hentai.
Yeah, but it's a cartoon. So it's not an actual person. I'm not watching someone else's trauma.
I give props to whoever can draw that shit.
Oh, and I'll
just
send you some.
No. I saw somebody who has now a kink because now all of a sudden,
What's your new kink? Let's get back to that.
No, we're not talking about my new kink. Anyway,
no, we are.
I saw somebody whose kink is now wearing a mask. They want to do some. They want to have sex with somebody from Slipknot, and I'm like, that's a weird. Yeah, they're like, yeah, I want to have sex with somebody while they wear a Slipknot mask, and I'm like, that's fucking weird.
What's your kink? Come on.
I am not telling you my kink. I'm not.
It's a 22-year-old likes it. You know that. Slipping into your DMs that you're scared to fuck because you're afraid because she's more experienced than you.
Listen. No. And
you know
no.
what I used to do, like before I really came out about being trafficked, like when I would sleep with a new guy and they'd be like, wow. I'm like, yeah, I was taught really well. And now some of them know my story and they're like, is that what you meant? I'm like, you got to deal with your trauma somehow. I do it in dark jokes.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's a fucking dark one right there. That's a fucking dark joke. Let me tell you. And if I found that shit out with somebody, I mean,
well, I was talking to my daughter.
yeah, no, the ropes are too loose. You have to tighten them more. What? No, wait, no, this is not how you tie it. You have to tie it like this. What the fuck? What are we doing here?
Well, my daughter.
I'm gonna escape. Watch. What?
She.
Please don't tell me you taught your kids. Please don't tell me you taught your kids anything.
She asked me what rodeo sex was.
Okay. I need to know what the fuck is rodeo sex now.
So when you're with your girl.
Oh, I know what it is. Never mind. I know what it is.
Wife,
yeah.
You get on top of her and tell her that she's better than her sister.
No, you get behind her, you grab her tits, and you say, "Hey, your sisters feel better," and see how long you can hold on.
The angry dragon.
Oh no, the angry pirate.
No, the angry dragon. Oh God, my glasses are fucking up.
So what's the
angry dragon? When she's giving you oral, when you finish, you hit her in the side of the mouth and it'll come out her nose.
Yep.
Or a Boston cream. That one.
Boston cream pie. Yeah.
The Boston cream where you go in the butt and it seeps out.
The angry pirate when you come in her eye and kick her in the shin.
The dolphin.
I never heard that one.
You hit her from behind and you accidentally slip it in her ass.
Oh, it was wrong. Yeah. The rusty trombone.
Oh, I haven't heard that one.
No, that's when she's eating your ass and then she gives you the reach around.
I can't. Oh.
The dirty Sanchez.
Mm-hmm.
You pull it out of your ass. You pull it out of her ass. You pull it out of her ass. And you take the shit and you wipe it right here on her.
So when I was,
we're never. This is not. We're gonna get banned off YouTube.
When I was dating my ex, it was New Year's Eve, and a friend of ours had just gotten out of prison, so I hooked him up with one of my girlfriends. He came back into the room, and I'm like, "Holy fucking Red Wings!" I'm like, "Whoa, dude! It's like stuck in your beard." It was so gross. And she's like, "I told him I was on my period. He didn't care." Oh,
yeah, listen. Sometimes. Did
you see that guy that like fucking scaled the wall and escaped the prison in Pennsylvania?
Only Pennsylvania
is a shit show.
Yeah, I mean, look at who the senator is. The senator had a stroke, and they voted him in.
The governor was a client of mine.
Who?
The governor
of Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
That guy, that little shithead that danced when he said he was a sanctuary city? That asshole?
Shapiro, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's the only name one of the only names.
God, I wish it came out. Listen.
And if I get a pardon for my charges that I am by law allowed to have, and I actually get my charges that were directly involved with the trafficking expunged. I can't remember the name of the law they passed. I gotta ask him for it.
Can I be there?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Can I be there?
He's not gonna remember me.
So what? You know what was that? The movie with Ashton Kutcher and what's her face, and they get married. Cameron Diaz, Ashton Kutcher and Cameron. Yeah, at the end where the girl just fucking punches the dude in the dick and then just goes, "You know why? You know I want to do that so badly. Just fucking, you know why? You know why?" And just walk away. Fuck that dude. I told you. I'm not Cal. I swear to you, I'm not playing. I am not playing. That kind of shit fucking bothers me, man. Especially being a father of a daughter. Like if anybody ever did that to my kid and I found out.
You want to know? So do you remember Jessica Lansing I think that was her name.
The actress?
No, she's a little girl that was kidnapped, and the neighbor, I think she was assaulted sexually. I don't remember, but he buried her in the backyard. And the dad was very vocal about it. That might not be her last name. I was sitting on the couch next to my father when they caught the guy. And he's like, you know what I think? I think if someone does that to a child, that they should let that man be alone in the room with their father and let him handle things. That should be their punishment. I was like, and who leaves you alone or who goes in the room with you, douche? Like, what? You'd love my dad.
I what?
You would love him.
No, after the things I know.
Not that kind of love. You'd love being near my dad.
Well, I mean, you have to have some kind of fucking charm in order to pull that off. I'm not going to lie.
I'm saying you have anger issues. He'd benefit you a lot. You could take him out on him.
Oh, yeah.
I remember one time, it was a pink phone. It wasn't the Razr pink flip phones. It was a pink flip phone. Man, he pissed me the fuck off. I took it and chucked it right in between his eyes. Got my ass beat for that one. But
I wouldn't care if your dad was 90 fucking years old and I had a chance. I would not care. I would be one of those. It would be one of those videos where it's just like, man beats up 97, poor 90, and I'd be like, no, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself.
You know, and
I'd be in jail or prison. I'd be in prison, and I'd tell them exactly what happened, and I'd be the fucking king.
You want to know? This is how sick he is. So he wanted to know who was giving me information. Why he fucking cares? On the 24th, it's going to be 14 years. So this was last year. He told one aunt that he had cancer in his lungs, but since it was spots, it clearly had spread from cancer somewhere else. He told my daughters that he had a very questionable lymph node, and they didn't know what it was. He told my brother that the lymph node was cancerous, but it was by the lungs. Like, he spread it to all these people. So
cancer?
No, the different ways of what actually happened. So when it came back to him, whatever story I told, he knew who was giving me information. And the funny thing is, when I told my daughters, because they don't really remember everything that happened. They were very young. I told them all the stories. I'm like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know if you care, but if you did care, I didn't want it, to keep it from
So does he have cancer?
No, he has sarcoidosis. It's something with a lymph node. I don't fucking know. It's not enough to kill him. That's all I know.
Not enough to fucking kill him. Oh, shit.
But it's like, I feel bad because it's like when my friends tell me their parents die, I'm like, damn, I'm jealous. I
told people that I was on a live with about our agreement of me coming and singing at their funeral. And they were just like, and I was like, yeah, I can't wait.
No, it is like, I am not allowed. I check the obituaries daily, every night before I go to bed, because no one's allowed to tell me when they die.
Then Brett. Like, I just want Santa to come and tell me something, and he won't.
Mm-hmm. It's like I learned a long time ago, and everyone says it. You have a family that you're born to and a family that you choose. And the family I chose is pretty fucking badass, minus you. You're kind of weird. But
that's what everybody says. It doesn't
matter.
You're
the brother I need. Like, you're the brother type. I needed that, Like, we bicker like brother and sister.
Mm-hmm.
And I love you to death. And if you don't start fucking women, I'm going to come there and force you to do it. In a very not rapey way.
I was okay.
But it's like my mother, and she's not my mom, but my chosen mom. And it's like, she's not going to live much longer. And it's so not fair because she's a good person and she's taken care of me and been a mother to me in every sense of the way. And I love her to death. I don't want to lose her, but it's like, I'm going to lose her. And it's like, I chose her to be my mom. Like, it's, I don't know. I just... Can you just take my other mom, like the one that gave birth to me?
Listen,
which is kind of funny.
But the problem, and here's what I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but really quickly, like the thing, and especially with religion, right? God wants the good, the devil wants the bad to stay on earth. So that's why the bad people stay on earth, and that's why the good people die, and people die young. That's probably why I'm still here.
Good die young.
Yeah, and that's why they say the good die young is because God wants to take them back to, the eternal resting place and have them there forever. But the devil, and I mean, look at a lot of shit that's going on now. Like we live in a fucking wicked ass time. But yeah, it's that kind of
when David Hogg speaking out against the fucking.
And we talked about that in a show this week. It's like I think what happened was she blew the fucking playbook.
You're like what the fuck is going on? I'm like, I don't know, but I'm scared.
But Biz and Mama J had a great reason for it. Like they blew the plan. Like she just rushed to it.
Said the part you're not supposed to say
exactly
out loud.
That's exactly what happened. She blew the plan, and they were like, "Wait a minute, shut the fuck up!" Like, no, we can't. They're trying to slow roll this, and they keep trying to slow roll it, and she just went fucking full jackhammer. And was just like, here you go. And he was like, no.
The thing is, it's like I said, it is devastating what happened to that little boy. Yeah. And I don't know if his aunt has passed or not. I haven't kept up with it. But to do that over one incident.
But it's like.
That's what they're doing.
But like I said, also, it's once again, it's banning steak for having a kid who choked on steak. For giving a child, an infant, or a toddler who doesn't have teeth. When are we
and it's like so many children die because parents are idiots and don't remember to take them. Well, no, I think they purposely leave them in the damn car. I mean, no way. I mean, my kids are extra loud, but I mean, come on.
You heard the explanation of what they want you to do if you have a kid in the back seat?
To put your fucking shoe back there.
No, your phone. Put your cell phone back there.
Remember your kid, but you'll remember your fucking shoe. And now they have cars that will detect car seats, and it'll flash on your dashboard when you turn your car off.
Like a supermarket? Like a supermarket?
Literally. Like, stop. These people are murdering their kids. That's what they're doing. One was left in a fucking car outside of a daycare. That was like just a month ago. A fucking daycare. Like, you can't tell me they forgot. They were at the damn daycare where the kid goes.
This is what happens when you don't allow Darwin to take over and let that parent die as a child like it was supposed to.
That's where they fucked up.
That parent was supposed to die before it became a parent.
Tide Pods thing, they put warnings out. No, we need to stop. If they're dumb enough to snort condoms, eat Tide Pods, just let it happen. Natural selection.
You know how dumb we are? There's instructions on Pop-Tarts. I'll say that again slower. There are instructions on Pop-Tarts.
There are warnings on curling irons for external use only.
Yeah. I'm tired after this one. I'm gonna lie.
Funny though, because there were times where people would say, like, show a picture of that on like Facebook or social media, and they're like, all right, who did it? And who was the cause for this warning on my curling iron? I'm like, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me.
With that, thank you for joining us this week, all 1.5 of you.
Well, Chris is gonna watch later. He's got Pool League on Fridays for a couple of weeks.
I don't want to go into another topic, but I started playing pool again, and I forgot how much fun I played pool.
Really
and how,
good at it. We had a
and yeah, I had a bunch of people come up to me and were just like, "Dude, you're really good." And I'm like, "Dude, I haven't played in fucking years. I used to play all the time. My grandfather taught me how to play. That was where I learned how to play." And there was this one guy came up. He's like, and he said he was from Vegas, and he's like, "Dude, I've seen people."
What's happening in Vegas right now?
Well, I have to actually jump off and go to do something else. But
no, it's gone. It's traveled to Atlantic City now. Huh. Oh, I think that was the cop.
You pissed yourself, didn't you?
No. Remember I said it was.
Never mind. No. Anyway, thank you for joining us this week. You can find Kelly at
Beautiful Mistake 24 on TikTok. I actually recently took my page off private, and hopefully I'll be making new videos soon so I can please Davey, because he doesn't like that it's old videos. And you can also find my foundation at afterthelastSaleFoundation.com, and all my social media links are at the bottom of the page. Oh, and the Unbroken podcast on all major podcast platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and a bunch of others.
And you can find me at Business Party Podcast on Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 7 Central, 8 Eastern. You could also find me on Sundays with Mama J doing the Weekend Hangover, where we do pop culture and documentaries. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate all of yous. And have a good week.
Squirrel has faked its own death and then even staged a crime scene.